What is up, you guys? And welcome back to Hot Leather Pants Podcast. I know it's been a month or three or something since we last did a video, but we're back for you guys. And we've got a lot going on. So, yeah. Kevin, do you
What
want to
is
lead
going
me?
on, Lizard Nation? We missed you guys.
So much.
We're here to talk about Eddie Van Halen and the gang.
And the gang.
You know more about the gang.
Do you want to start with Eddie first?
Sure.
All right, so Eddie Van Halen. I don't know if you could hear it. Can you hear that feedback?
Nope. I think we're
If I'm
good.
hitting my mic? Okay, good. I just was gonna move it real quick. Um, so Eddie Van Halen was born in Amsterdam alongside his brother, Alex Van Halen. And when they were both young, they both started playing music. Eddie became a piano prodigy. And what's crazy about that is he didn't even read sheet music.
That's crazy.
So he just learned everything by ear. And I kind of thought of Kevin when I was doing my research because Kevin also can play, he can literally hear a song, and we're going to use John Mayer for an
Love John
example,
Mayer.
and he'll be able to pick it out on his guitar faster than if I were to read a tab or like try to learn the song. Kev's just like got the same talent, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Eddie, he won several different awards throughout his years of playing piano. And
We're
after
talking
that,
like we're talking like 10 years old or something too, right?
yeah, he was like super young.
Yeah. That's
Probably
crazy.
not, yeah, probably not much older than like elementary school age.
Wild.
Yeah, it's incredible. And so after like piano, he decided he wanted to play the drums, and Alex decided he wanted to play the guitar. And you're probably thinking, well, this is Van Halen. Alex plays the drums and Eddie plays guitar. Like, what do you mean? So at the time, after they had gotten these instruments, Eddie picked up like a paperboy job or something, and he'd be gone for like a few hours out of the day or whatever. And during that time, Alex ended up learning how to play the drums, and he got pretty proficient in it. And then Eddie was like, all right, fine, I'll just play the guitar. So they both swapped instruments. After that, they formed a band, and it was named, do you remember the name? It was called Broken Combs, like
Nice.
a
That's a
hair
good
comb. Yeah,
because they probably had curly hair.
I think they did, both of them.
Yeah.
Every picture that I've seen, their hair's all big and
Yeah.
wild. Yeah. And so then they changed the name to Trojan Rubber Co., which, copyright. I'm sure several people, including their parents, were not too pleased with that.
Like no one explained to them that you can't just name yourself like the Coca-Cola band. Like you can't do that.
Imagine they tried that. They're like, let's go with Coke. And their parents are like, no. So
It's like coming
then,
out of Spinal Tap. What if we name it the Trojan Rubber Band?
dude, I haven't seen Spinal Tap in so long. I watched it like once in high school, and I thought it was funny, but I don't think I was old enough to understand all of it,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
a total bummer. Because now I'd appreciate it. Now I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um, so then after that, obviously Trojan Rubber Co. didn't work out. Whoops. That time you heard that. So they chose to change their name to Genesis.
Mm. Again, guys.
And they were in high school. They were young.
Yeah, they didn't have the internet,
They
so
didn't.
I guess it's understandable.
And they also didn't know that there was already a band in England named Genesis.
If I start a band, I'm gonna name it Van Halen, just in honor of these guys infringing on other people's copyrights.
That's pretty much what they did. So after that very short span of the name Genesis, they decided to go with the name Mammoth. And that stuck until Van Halen.
Nice.
So there's the beginnings
Very
of
nice.
Eddie.
And at this point, they were in LA, right?
Their family moved to LA. I forget how old they were, but they
Yeah.
were, I mean, they weren't like living in Amsterdam. I mean, they moved to LA pretty shortly after the boys were
Okay.
born.
I've seen interviews with Eddie talking about like before they got their first record deal, just playing in clubs in LA and like just
Mm-hmm.
apparently the competition was really fierce back then.
Oh,
Like to get a record
absolutely.
deal. Like
Absolutely.
now you just like put out your own stuff on Spotify. But like
And yeah, and I mean, still, I feel like you're lucky if somebody signs you,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, they were living in LA and they played like Alex and Eddie. They played with another guy named Michael. It wasn't Michael Anthony. It was Michael.
Was it Michael Jackson?
No, wouldn't that be
It was
crazy?
probably another guy, and he just decided to change his name to Michael Jackson to also infringe on some copyrights.
I had his name in my notes. I think it was like Michael Clark or something. Mark Stone. Not even Michael. Mark
Dude,
Stone was on bass.
their band name should have been The Infringements.
Dude, that would
That's
have
a
been,
good name. I'm writing that
see,
one down.
the infringements. That'll be our band name.
Hell yeah.
That'll be our band name.
Nice. Well, as a guitarist, Eddie was one of the first like, guitar heroes for me. So I
Mhm.
remember seeing all kinds of photos of the Frankenstrat, which here, I'll share my screen because I think everyone recognizes this guitar, right?
We
This
love
is like one of
the
the most
Frankenstrat.
iconic guitars ever.
Yup.
And I think most of us recognize it off of the paint job. But what Eddie did was not just, he didn't just like paint it to make it look cool, right? The paint was just like kind of the cherry on top. The reason that he like sort of built his own guitar is he took a Stratocaster body, but he wanted the humbucker pickups, which they're a type of pickup that doesn't pick up as much electromagnetic interference.
All the
So it
feedback that
doesn't
you get.
hum as much. So like when you're like playing like shows with your amps cranked up to 11, that hum can be like overwhelming and annoying for the audience and for the crew.
Hmm.
So he took a Stratocaster body that he got for like $50 from a shop that was just like it was like a factory second, so it wasn't even good enough to give to or to sell as like a proper body. So there's just like a bin of these leftover Stratocaster imitations. So he got it for like $50 and then he chiseled out the areas to put the pickups for humbuckers. And then he wired it up himself. Um, this guy, he's like, he doesn't have any actual experience with electronics and stuff. He just kind of figured out how to do this himself. So he just
Hmm.
wanted those humbucker pickups, but he wanted like, if you can see this, this is called a whammy bar or a
Yes.
tremolo system.
We love the whammy bar.
That's why he wanted the Stratocaster body, is because you press down on the bar and it goes
With the Rose Bridge.
right. Yep.
Yep.
So he
That's what I
got
have.
that's the best of both worlds, the Floyd Rose whammy bar system with humbucker
Hmm.
pickups. And that type of guitar didn't exist at the time. So he kind of pioneered that whole system. You can see
Yeah,
here's the back of it. These are the springs that make the whammy bar system possible.
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
And
And that's
these
a replica.
these might be, I don't know, this might be, oh, that says replica. Okay. This is a really good replica because see these reflectors?
Hmm.
Eddie put those on there so that he could turn the guitar around and reflect the stage lights back at the audience just for the show,
Oh, that's so fun.
just for fun.
That is so cool. I didn't know any of that.
The very first one was actually black and white. That's the very first Frankenstrat.
That's so cool.
So that was, I think, the first Van Halen album actually was recorded on this guy. But then the real iconic red and white and black came later.
Yeah.
We just did that with masking tape or
Isn't that what
electric.
you tried to do?
Yeah, I did something similar, or I
Yeah.
attempted. Yeah. Not lines, but shapes. But yeah,
Hmm. Kevin built his own guitar while we weren't recording any episodes.
We'll show it off sometime.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
super fun.
So that's one contribution that he made to the world of guitars, the famous Frankenstrat, putting humbuckers with a tremolo system. Number two is tapping. So tapping on the neck, we can probably find a video of Eddie playing. He wasn't perhaps the very first person ever to tap,
Yeah.
but um he definitely popularized it. It allowed him to play a lot quicker. Like you can play notes a lot quicker when you're tapping on the fretboard
Yeah.
versus pick. Um,
Have that distortion and gain all the way up, baby.
yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do. There it is. It's a three
Here's him as
minute.
an
This is
old
what
man.
5 pounds of body fat looks like. Want to lose
No,
this
it's
and
Dude, you got more than
not.
five
I'm just
you
pounds.
actually
kidding.
take your body.
I'm like, I got at least 20 of them bitches. No, I'm just
Music
kidding.
every concert in the
This
air, and I'm
this
going,
is a really good interview to watch, by the way, if you can see it.
so basically, I just moved the nut. Okay, this part right here is the nut, but then
There we go.
So good.
uh,
Yeah, he did a lot of those sort of kind of wailing like bends too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's not exactly known who the very first person to tap on the fretboard with their right hand was, but he was among the first.
Yeah.
And I think he said that he got the idea from watching Jimmy Page just hammer off with his fingers on his left hand. And he thought, well, what if I did that with both?
With all my fingers.
Um, yeah, and that's kind of like another one of his innovations that he sort of independently arrived at, but other people had also kind of independently arrived at the same time, which was wax potting his pickups. So wax potting is a process of literally dipping your pickups for your guitar into wax. And so what that does is when you have like a lot of vibrations around you, like when you're playing on stage with loudspeakers, the coils of the pickups will vibrate against each other and it'll cause some sort of nasty feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie was like, well, if that's the problem, what if I just dip them in wax? Well, sure enough, around that time, I guess other people were working on this too. This has now become like an industry standard. Like a lot of pickups you buy now are wax potted. He just had this idea. And in that interview from the last video that we just watched, that was the interview where he was talking about this. The woman interviewing him was like, "So you just like thought of this yourself?" And he was like, "Thought of it, or maybe it was given to me from somewhere." I was like, "God, I love that." Like the
That is
muses
so
of the
cool.
universe just gave it to you. So yeah, there's another contribution that he was at least partially responsible for in the world of guitars. I think that's so cool.
That is cool. Well, and then tell them about the discovery that you made with your guitar.
What's that?
Oh my God, I just got an email saying I forgot to do a quiz.
Oh, girl.
Anyways, no, you discovered the whole wax potting thing because when you were screwing on your pickups, wasn't wax coming out?
Oh
Or was it
yeah,
the
yeah.
other way around?
Yeah, you can see actually on these pickups, I think it's hard to tell, but these are flathead screws right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was adjusting them on mine and I noticed this like wax coming out. This was just like I just discovered this year. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what is this wax? And I Googled like wax coming out of my guitar pickups.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like only a few weeks later, we're doing this Van Halen episode talking about how he was one of the pioneers of this technique. Pretty crazy.
Insane.
Okay, and then finally, this is maybe my favorite contribution of his. This is a patent that he filed. What year? 1987. Okay. This is the real patent application. Like normally patent applications are very professional and the wording, you can tell he got a lawyer to do this or something, but this is a real drawing from the patent application. That's him with the hair playing this weird instrument add-on
Wait,
that so hold up. I've got pictures of a prototype here. This is it. So this is so that you can sort of play like flat, like a steel
Oh
guitar
my gosh.
on stage. Look at that. So he really filed for this patent.
Because he just created it.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Look at all the time we would have as humans if we didn't have social media. Look at this.
Yeah, this is one that didn't catch on. I've never seen this in a guitar store.
Neither have I. It'd probably make my
But
playing way easier.
I think they make like straps or something for this now, like a strap that kind of goes on from the far side of the guitar
Yeah,
around. Probably a better idea than this, but
in a
he was
box.
definitely an innovator, and he was just always like
So
chasing like the
smart.
perfect tone.
Yeah, super smart. He probably
Yeah,
read a lot of books.
probably. So that's Eddie
We
in
love
a
Eddie.
nutshell. What about the rest of the band?
So Van Halen formed in 1973 in Pasadena, California.
Wow.
Um,
And their what
so
their first album was like 77, 76, something like that.
yeah, it didn't come out for a couple years. I think it was
It was like
78.
they were like a band for several years before they actually got
A,
signed and made an album.
a long time. And there's a crazy story with their signing. But first, let's talk about how they met our one and only David Lee Roth.
Ooh.
So it's kind of weird how like coincidental all of this was. So, um, Eddie, Alex, and then their bassist Mark, not Michael, Mark.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. I'm like, Michael Clark? Who the hell is that? Google Michael Clark right now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Um, so uh while these three guys were playing, they were doing shows at birthday parties, they were doing shows at high school dances, they were doing shows at backyard parties, just all kinds of different small gigs that they could get because they were just playing and performing, and that's what they wanted to do. So at one point, they met David Lee Roth through, they decided to rent like a speaker system from him, and they would rent it for like $10 a day or whatever. And that's how they met David Lee Roth. But he was playing and gigging with this other band. I don't know the name at the
So
time.
did he play guitar or what did he do?
He
Was he just a
sang.
singer? Just
Hmm.
sang.
David Lee Roth was an entertainer
Yeah, definitely a front man.
for the most part, but he's one of the greatest frontmans in history. Um, so yeah, that's how they met, and then I don't really know where they coincided and were like, "Hey, dude, you should like totally join my band." Yeah, dude, let's do it. But they formed Van Halen in 1973. Um, they didn't take the name Mammoth with them, so that's like five name changes over the course of a few years for these guys. And then after about, I think it was like a year of playing or something, Mark Stone was like, honestly, I don't think I want to be a musician for the rest of my life. And they were like, cool, get out. And then they
Dang.
met Michael Anthony, and Michael Anthony started playing with them. If you guys want to see a picture of the group, okay, we're just gonna ignore this first screen here, okay? So this is the original group. Okay, this is David Lee Roth. This is Eddie. That's Alex. And then this is Michael Anthony.
Nice.
A bunch of stud muffins,
Who's
in
the
my
who's the
opinion.
hottest in your opinion?
Honestly, I've always had a thing for Alex Van Halen.
What?
I know. You
That's an
guys see
original
this.
take.
You
Did he?
well, my track record shows that that would be a Caitlyn choice anyway.
He looks like maybe like a half black 63-year-old woman.
What?
That's what I see.
Dude, wait, look at this one.
Dude. Are you sure that's not Michael Jackson mid-transition?
Transition. Who says that? No, just kidding. He's not that ugly, okay?
Okay, there he's got a nice jawline. I will give
See?
him that.
I think it was like
Both
six
do though.
three. He's like 6'3".
There we go.
We like him tall. But yeah,
Is
so
that
here's
David Lee Roth on the left?
yeah.
Skinny, muscly guy.
Dude, he was absolutely insane.
That's the body of a cokehead right there.
He was like the most spoiled guy from like Southern California. And he just like I mean the whole band loved to cause drama, minus Michael Anthony. I mean, it was pretty much like a just like a dick measuring contest between Eddie Alex and David Lee Roth.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely tell these guys did not have small egos.
No, seriously. They definitely didn't. But they
Wait,
were good.
click on this middle picture on the right. So
This one?
right, that one.
Look at him.
What in the world is he wearing?
Who?
Is that Eddie on the second from the right? Yeah,
This
what
one?
is that?
I don't even know. A crop top
That's
with
wild.
dice on it and a little handkerchief. And I don't know what you'd call those.
Yeah.
Like, are they tennis shoes? Are they wizard shoes? Are they
Oh, lizard shoes for sure.
lizard? I said wizard, but we can go with
Oh,
lizard.
this by this point they've probably gotten into the lizard industry.
Look at him. He's got track pants tucked into boots.
This is an abomination.
This is quintessential 80s right here. Seriously. This is an
They just,
abomination.
I'm pretty sure they just like put a blindfold on and threw darts at various sections of the department store and just whatever the dart hit they had to wear.
They're like, just pick one. Oh my gosh, like pin the tail on the donkey. This is like my favorite era.
Oh yeah. God, wouldn't it have been? He makes that guitar look so tiny. What is that? It's like
That's
a
not a real guitar. I mean, it is a real guitar, but it's not like a normal size one. I don't know what that is.
that's that's weird.
That's a good picture. And then there's this one too.
That's a good picture. Look at that chest hair.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be the person to point it out.
I bet you want to sniff it.
Ew.
I know what you're thinking. I was thinking it
No.
too.
That's all you. But see, look at Alex. He looks so cute. Look at him.
That's true. That's true.
He's got quite a nice smile in that
Yeah,
picture.
no, I'd sniff his chest hair as well.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. Michael Anthony had it
Oh
too.
God. Oh, he's got belly hair too. That guy's one sixth bear.
Why is he so pale?
Polar bear.
Ah.
Look at that vest though. I would wear that vest.
This?
Yeah.
Dude, all you would have to do is like tailor a Hawaiian button down.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know what I'm getting for Christmas from Sydney.
Just send her this picture.
Can you? Yeah.
How do I? Okay, I'll have to share it later.
Van Halen billboard. I could probably find it.
Do it. Do it. Ugh, we love it. Here's another solid pick.
Nice.
Look at that.
What's your favorite Van Halen song?
Well, if we're talking David Lee Roth era,
Mm.
um, Beautiful Girls is one of my favorites. Ain't Talking About Love.
Oh yeah.
Running with the Devil. That used to be like my favorite one in high school because I was trying to be
Oh,
so rebellious.
me too. Running with the Devil's. That's the first Van Halen song I ever learned on guitar.
Dude, it's such a dun, 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 dun. So good.
God, they had so many good songs.
And the riff in Ain't Talking About Love.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and
good.
Unchained. Man, they had such a distinct sound too. Like you could hear
Yeah.
Eddie a few notes and you're like, oh, that's Eddie.
I could hear, dude, I could probably hear two and I'd be like, this is a song, this is the album, circa a little
Yeah.
1984.
So what happened with David Lee Roth?
Okay, so he was with them until 1984, 84, I believe. I have my notes. Um, there was a lot of drama with him and Eddie, but it all kind of boiled down to the fact that um Roth like was really wanting to focus on a solo career,
Um,
which is kind of crazy because he had like one of the most epic runs with one of the most famous bands in history. And he was like, but I feel like that's what a lot of band members did. Like, but at the same time, like if you think about Led Zeppelin, they had a super traumatic experience and then they all just decided, like, honestly, we don't really want to play anymore because we're all depressed and sad.
wait,
And
there was like a single traumatic experience.
oh yeah, when John Bonham died
Whoa. Wait, so he died and
with Zeppelin.
then oh, okay.
Yeah. Like Zeppelin, they broke up because after John
Right.
Bonham died because it wasn't Led Zeppelin. So then
Right.
Robert Plant went and did his solo career. Jimmy Page went and did his solo career. And then I don't really know much about their bassist, to be honest with you. I don't know what his story was. Honestly, bassists should be the ones writing the stories because I feel like they're always on the sidelines, like doing nothing,
Ooh,
unless you're
good
Nikki
point.
Sixx.
That's true.
Like, not that they're doing nothing, but I feel like they stay out of the drama. They stay pretty chill. Like, you know? I feel like a
Definitely.
memoir from a bassist would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Roth was focusing on his solo career. He also had already written a solo album and wanted to make a movie out of it. So he just was like,
Really?
yeah, he was like telling the band, like, yo, this is like really what I want to do. I just want to focus on myself. It's like
Was
what every person tells you when they're breaking up with you.
yeah, it's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me. I just really need to take some me time and focus on myself. So yeah, he was like ready to get this show going. He was like getting this movie on. He was ready to film it. He wrote all the music. And then he had asked Eddie for help. And Eddie was like, nah, dog, like, we're Van Halen. This is what we're doing. And so it caused like a rift, lots of arguments. And then at some point, it was just kind of like, okay, David Lee Roth just wants to do his own shit, let him go. And so, like, these are some quotes about, like, this is after the fact. Like, this is after he had already left and they had done so many interviews with him and Eddie. I couldn't find any interviews with Eddie, but I found several videos of David Lee Roth just ranting.
Ah,
They were, it was kind of funny. I was like, these are two grown men, like coming at each other like high school girls. It was kind of funny. So this is like one of his quotes about like why he left. And he said, bottom line is I wanted more control. I was always butting heads with Ted Templeman, who was their signer at Warner Bros., like their
mm,
producer. Um, about what makes a good record. My philosophy has always been I'd rather bomb with my own music than make it with other people's music. So he was honestly really kind of selfish and a total diva. Like if it wasn't Dave's way, it was get out.
Mm,
You're not in the band. This is David Lee Roth's band named Van Halen, and
yeah.
you don't belong here. He
What's
was
crazy is that like, yeah, he was a great showman and he could sing. I don't know
mm-hmm.
how many of the Van Halen songs he wrote, but like Van Halen is known for Eddie's guitaring. Like that's the
Yeah.
reason there's like a superstar like Hall of Fame band.
Yeah. And like while David Lee Roth was somewhat of a heartthrob and like, beautiful, tall California boy who wasn't afraid to show himself off, like, and he had the confidence of a mammoth, like he, if people think Van Halen, they're gonna think Eddie first.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
um, then after that, not after that, um, a Billboard 1985 interview, they were asking him again, like, what's going on? And this is what he said. And this quote literally made zero sense to me. He said, since my very first days in with the band 11 years ago, so it would have been 1974 or 73, whatever. He said, I've always had the feeling that one day I would wake up in a cold hotel, all the rooms would be empty, and I would be stuck by a phone with a busy signal. From the first day, nothing has changed.
Okay.
Like, doesn't that sound a little dramatic?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't.
I mean, it would make good song lyrics, but I'm not sure it means anything.
I don't know. I have no clue. So then they interviewed Eddie for Rolling Stone in 1986, and this is Eddie in quotes. Roth said, I can't work with you guys anymore. I want to do my movie. Maybe when I'm done, we'll get back together.
Mm.
It's like the typical excuse, like, let me just finish my schooling first and then we can get back together.
I just gotta find myself.
I just have to find myself
Find
and figure out what my astrological sign means, and then we can get back together if our rising signs are the same
I'm a
or
rising
whatever.
asparagus.
I'm a rising asparagus, and my
Uh,
moon
that's
is in the
crazy.
sky.
So, but Van Halen didn't break up after that, after he left.
They didn't. Sammy Hagar joined the group.
And where they find this bum?
That I didn't find anything on, and I should have done more research.
Well, I guess they were a famous band by that point, so they probably had people lined up.
Well, and he was doing his own solo work, and he was the front man for a different group, and I forget what the group is called.
Okay.
But yeah, before he joined, and I actually do have the albums, well, they're my dad's, but he did he had
Wait, what,
two.
what year was I Can't Drive 55?
That was 83.
83. So that was before Van Halen?
Yeah, because their
Nice.
first album together as a group was 5150, and that came out in 1985.
Nice.
And that's my favorite Sammy Hagar album.
That's awesome.
Absolutely my favorite.
Yeah, so he already had some status in the rock world.
Mm-hmm. He
Nice.
did, yeah. And he honestly, personally, I thought he was a better singer. Do you
Yeah,
guys
I
want to
like
see
both.
how beautiful he was? I'll show you.
Please do.
We
Show me
love.
the chest hair.
This is him. He was a wild boy. Look at him. He was so cute though.
Dude,
This is the group with him.
he's on the left, right?
That's him.
Dude, he pioneered the broccoli hair that
Dude, he
every
did.
Gen Z boy now has.
Every 15-year-old boy. Yeah, he was a stunner. That's Alex, that's Michael, and then there's Eddie. That's all of them
Nice.
together. This is that's a really bad picture. He
Wait,
looked
get me one with chest hair. I demand it.
Did you ever watch Hannah Montana?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of
He
it.
looks like her high school teacher. I don't know if there are any. Yeah,
Dang,
here.
what a modest boy.
Look at him.
These
Look
other
at
guys are
him.
letting it all hang out, and he's like, "No,
You can
sir.
see.
Only my
No,
spouse gets to see my chest hair."
no, sir. There's one live video of them playing Love Walks In, and he's wearing like this tank top that's like, you know how like when guys cut their t-shirts?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Can we
it's a
can we see it?
yeah, but we gotta come back
All
real
right.
quick.
So we'll finish off with this. We interrupt this podcast to bring you Lizard Watch.
Lizard
Listen, ladies and
watch.
gentlemen, the entertainment industry is full of reptilians running the show, puppeteering everything that you see and hear. And we're calling out each of these lizards one by one. My lizard suspect number one today is not him.
Oh no! Just kidding. Oh, absolutely.
This guy. Watch this guy.
You can't hear it.
It's all right. He's just playing guitar, but watch him. Look at him. Look at him
How,
move like a lizard.
why is he that big? He's like
Why is he
Slender
this
Man.
lizardy? Look, he's just he moves like a snake and he's built like a snake and he's dressed like a lizard. This guy is like he's like a snake charmer, except he's the snake and I'm being charmed by a snake. Look at him, lizard. He's just like
Dude, he's a spooky dude. Why
this
is
is
he kind of hot though?
I knew you'd say that. This is lizard suspect number one for Lizard Watch. What do you got?
You're gonna laugh so hard because it's literally the most obvious thing ever. I almost spilt my smoothie everywhere. All right, you ready?
Oh yeah.
It's like so obvious, but it's fine. Because it just has to be.
Oh, look at those lizard eyes.
Okay, also my reasons are this man has done pretty much every drug on the face of the planet. He's also done, I have a list, all of these drugs sometimes all at once, is what he said. This was during his years of drug and alcohol abuse. He
Yeah.
said, I was on booze, coke, heroin, acid, and quaaludes to glue, cough syrup, Rohypnol, Klonopin, Vicodin. On more than a few occasions, I was on all of those at the same time. That would kill a normal person.
That's true.
That would kill a normal person.
This guy was doing lizard dosages.
Also, did you click on that article that I sent you?
Okay. You got to read it to the audience.
I will read it to the audience.
All right.
So, we all know the famous story of Ozzy Osbourne doing a line of ants poolside with Motley Crue. If you don't know the story, I'm so sorry to ruin your life
That's
for the next
so
5 minutes.
crazy. That's so crazy.
So that's not where it stopped, though. So these dudes were all on drugs, right? They were all screwed up. Motley Crue is like definitely notably known for their drug use. Um, so while they were at the pool, like after he did the line of ants, Nikki Sixx was like, I'm gonna pee on the ground and lick my own pee off the ground. So Ozzy, after Nikki Sixx finishes business, licks up Nikki Sixx's pee off the ground. And then after that, they were like, okay, whatever, you win. I'll also post the link to this article so you guys can read it. And this is Tommy Lee telling an interviewer what happened. So then after that, like Tommy Lee was like, we gotta go. You're gonna get kicked out of the pool. We're just gonna go up to your room. So they go to the elevator. While they're in the elevator, there's two people just going right at it. Just in the elevator, loving an elevator, living it up when you're going down, you know what I'm saying? So then, Ozzy decides to take a shit while these people are doing the nasty.
Oh my
Then
God.
after that, Tommy Lee gets Ozzy to his room. Ozzy proceeds to shit in the middle of the room and then picks it up and started painting the walls.
Yeah, that's some lizard activity for
That's
sure.
not normal human behavior.
That's right. That's a great point. I
That's
also
like,
I just Googled facts about lizard urine and check this out. Lizard urine contains pheromones and other chemical cues that communicate information to other lizards.
no.
He was sending a signal. Who is the guy that peed?
Nikki Six.
Yeah, he's a lizard too, almost certainly.
Yeah, and Nikki Six OD'd on heroin more than once. He
Hmm.
actually died for a full minute.
Wow.
Insane. So that's my lizard.
That's a great lizard pick.
It's a solid one. I figured you'd find that pretty funny.
Well, let's ask the audience. Do we think either or both of these guys are lizards?
Vote in the comments. We'll make a poll too.
Yes.
All right. So we're back to Van Halen. As people would like to call them Van Hagar at this point in time because Sammy Hagar was now a part of the group. And this is this was an interesting time because in this video, you're not going to see Eddie playing the guitar. Eddie's
Ooh.
Eddie's on keys. So let's
Wow.
just dig in a little bit here. Oh, tell me if you can hear it.
That we worked on together as a band.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's a song that is about aliens. And it's called Love Comes Walking In.
About aliens?
Yeah,
So he's a lizard too.
maybe.
So that's Eddie.
That's Eddie. This is such a good song. That's Alex. And
So that's Sammy Hagar.
yep.
Crazy.
And then there's Michael and his yellow pants.
Nice.
Anyways.
Man.
Oh, could you hear that pretty okay? I moved my mic.
No, I couldn't hear the song, but you could splice it in later.
How do I do that?
I'll show you.
Okay. So that is Van Halen with Sammy Hagar.
Nice.
And
Okay.
there really wasn't that much. I don't think there was that much drama. At least, oh, I can stop sharing my screen. At least from what I've done my research on. But look at him. Also a
Handsome
California
guy.
boy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got some good leg hair.
I love how you zoomed in just
I
right to the
would,
middle.
I'd sniff them legs too.
Oh my Lord. It's a good
You know,
picture.
okay, here's a photo that you are not ready for. This is of David Lee Roth. No matter how ready you think you can
Is
be
he
for
in a pink thong?
oh, I wish.
Ah,
Close though. You ready?
okay.
Boom.
I That might be the picture that I almost bought when I was younger. I wanted a poster of him so bad, but the poster was him wearing a pink thong, and my mom was like, "Put that back." And I was like, "Mom, it can go on my wall." And
Wait,
she was
is
like,
that real? David Lee Roth,
"Yeah, it should be."
pink song.
Yep. Go.
This?
No.
Oh my
I've never
God. Look at those.
assless chaps. Look at that. Holy cow. No, he was like modeling. It was crazy. My mom, I just remember my mom being like, that's not going in your room. And I was like, but it could. What is that one? No, that's a woman. Oh no, he's wearing pants. I don't know. That's a good one.
This is insane.
Dude, he was something else. I think this was during his solo days.
Good for him, really feeling himself.
He was not afraid to show it all. So, anyways, we can go back to some of the drama. You want to hear some of the crazy shit that happened between the
Please.
band and Roth?
Absolutely.
So, for their first album, they were doing a photo shoot, and Roth had hired this guy that he knew to do the photography because, up and coming band, they don't have all that much money. And so, like, while they were waiting for Eddie and Alex to show up, Roth just has this guy start taking pictures of him. He's like, we'll just start the photo shoot and wait for them. And then he got accused of hijacking the artwork. And then they ended up rehiring somebody else to do the photography and shooting it all together. So he wouldn't have
Dang.
the chance to do some narcissistic shit. And then, so we all know that Eddie contributed to Michael Jackson's Thriller. He played the guitar in the solo.
Right.
And so, like, after it came out that it was happening, so I don't think Eddie really told anyone. Roth had told Rolling Stone magazine, "What did Eddie, do with Michael Jackson? He played the same solo he's been playing in this band for 10 years. Big deal." This was while they were still together,
That's insane.
right? And then,
Wait, did you say Thriller? It was
yeah,
Beat It.
no, and well, he did both.
Oh, he did Thriller too?
Yeah, he helped with the music on Thriller, not the guitar solo. I'm so sorry. He helped with the music for Thriller.
Nice.
And then another story. So you know the song Jump?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is actually it's not funny. So when they wrote Jump, like around the same time, no, it was inspired by this thing that had happened. They saw this on the news. This guy was like committing suicide and jumping off a building. And so they wrote this song inspired
To
by
encourage him to jump?
no, it was after the incident happened. Wrote the song lyrics after they saw what happened.
That's so crazy.
And it's funny because the lyrics of the song are literally like, I get up and nothing gets me down.
Right.
You got it tough. I've seen the toughest around. And then it goes into, was it like, might as well jump? And it's
Yeah.
the most upbeat Van Halen song.
Wow.
And it's literally inspired by somebody's attempt on their own life. I don't know if
Jeez.
the guy survived, so oopsie.
I hope he's getting
Anyways,
royalties if he did survive.
so when
Um,
they were shooting for the music video, Roth wanted to do um like some super crazy stuff. And I guess he like had a hot rod, like a Mercury hot rod at the time. And he wanted to drive it with midgets and girls in maids outfits.
girls in what outfits?
Maids outfits.
What about the midgets? What were they
I
wearing?
don't know.
Wait.
Just driving it and they're like in the car with him for the music video jump. What
Oh
does
my
that have to do with the
God.
music video? With the music? You
Yeah,
get
imagine pitching that. All right, this might be a little bit off base, but
it?
just imagine me, seven midgets and three maids in a car.
In a car.
Where do you even start? Where does the idea like that come from?
After knowing, after like their producers knowing that the song was inspired by somebody's unaliving attempt.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
And so they like ended up shooting all of this footage of him driving around with all these women in his car. And then the guy that shot the video technically went behind his back and like told the Van Halen brothers what was going on and showed them the footage. And they were like, no, no, we're not using the footage. Can't use that ever. And then Roth found out about it and he fired the guy that filmed the whole thing.
If I was in the band and he had gone behind my back and hired a bunch of midgets and maids to drive around with him, first I'd be like, why? What were you on? And second, I'd be like, hell yes, we're using this footage.
Yeah, like why not just go with it? And then the
So is
last,
that footage like still out there? Like, can we find it?
I don't know, we might have to go digging.
Someone's got it somewhere, right?
Why would he get rid of it? After the guy was fired, like why would he get rid of it?
Yeah.
Because it was like taped on like vintage camcorders and stuff. Like,
Well, if it's not on the internet, we've got to go track this guy down.
try Reddit.
Yeah.
And then the last crazy story that I have, well, not crazy, but this is like one of the incidents. And I kind of already said it, but after Roth had done his first solo EP, Crazy from the Heat, um he had asked Eddie to do some music work on it, and Eddie was like, absolutely not. And then Roth, like after that whole thing, was like, I can't work with you guys anymore. I want to do my movie. Maybe when I'm done, we'll get back together. And so obviously, like, they didn't want to wait around, you know? Like, why would we wait for this guy to come back? Like, we're trying to go out into the world and make some money. So then I looked into any interviews that David Lee Roth might have had. And boy, you could go down a whole rabbit hole. So I got three quotes. Okay. So this is from Rolling Stone. Actually, it's on Loudwire, but I'm assuming Loudwire like repurposes old interviews, I'm pretty sure. So Roth said he even had the ball. Oh no, this is Eddie. I'm so sorry. This is what Eddie had to say. He even had the balls to ask if I'd write the score for him. I'm looking for and then it was like explain Van Halen to Rolling Stone about Roth's decision to pursue his movie, then adding, I'm looking for a new lead singer. It's weird that it's over 12 years of my life putting up with his bullshit.
Dang.
So that was like all I could find from Eddie. And then
Now, did
Roth,
that ever get made as a movie?
no. No, they pulled everything out. They were like, we're not doing this.
Dang.
Yeah. I think because he wanted to like Roth was like all for the what do you call that? Adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
So he like wanted to do super dangerous stuff, even on set, like even in concerts, like he wanted to do some really dumb shit. And because of that, like I'm sure that's part of the reason why they pulled the movie. They were like, we're not gonna like who's gonna be your stunt double? You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but then Roth, this is the funniest, I'll send you the video, but this is like the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody like rant about. This is like, these are two quotes that I thought were funny from Roth. He said, we both shed a tear, we hugged, and went our separate ways. And 2 weeks later, I'm reading in Rolling Stone what an asshole I am. He's like,
Nice.
are you serious? And then at the like near the end of the interview, he's like, Van Halen is demanding for some bizarre, retarded reason that the fans make a choice. Well, I'll rise to the challenge. If we have to have a comparison, fine. I'll eat you for breakfast, pal.
Oh.
I was like, damn, world star. No, I'm just kidding.
So how many like how many hits were under David versus Sammy? Like of say top
Hmm.
Billboard hits.
Let me find that out. I know, like in their earlier songs, they rose to the Billboard charts pretty quickly. I think Beautiful Girls was on there. Ain't Talking About Love, I think, was on Billboard as well. Um,
No. So
Guess
what
the
year?
first one.
Sammy Hagar was what year?
1985.
Okay. So, okay, check this out though. As far as the whole album goes, while you're counting the hits, chart positions for their albums. So look at this first column under US Billboard.
Hmm.
So Van Halen 1 was 19. It peaked at 19, right? 6, 6, 5, 3, and 2. Now we switch over to Sammy Hagar. This
Oh,
1, 1, 1, 1.
and then Van Halen 3. Wait, go back.
Van Halen
Go
3 was
back.
4 and
Ooh,
2.
go back up.
You mean up here?
Yeah, it's a legend because it tells you who is singing.
Well, we know that like 1986 starts here, right? So that's Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, but there were three names. Go back to the top. Gary Sharon. Who the
Oh,
hell is that? Well, he
oh.
was only on one album. Oh, good Lord. What an album cover. No wonder he was only on one.
I would not sniff that chest hair.
Mm-mm.
So what happened with Sammy? Sammy left in 96. Okay, so he had a 10-year
7,
run.
8, 9, 10,
Briefly replaced
11.
back by David Lee Roth.
Mm-hmm. So it was 9 over the course of their chart history. 9 songs that hit the Billboard Hot 100 with David Lee Roth, and
Nice.
11 that hit.
Ooh,
Unless, when
it's
was that
tough.
last album released? Was that 2012? So then it would be 10 with David Lee Roth, and must
Hmm,
be 12 with no,
that's
13.
interesting. And yet the
No.
albums did better as a whole under Sammy.
The albums did well, those are really good albums.
Yeah.
5150 is my favorite, and I covered that in a previous podcast. OU 812 is really good too. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, I feel like no one really talks about it, but I mean, seriously, all the albums are good with Sammy Hagar.
Nice. What a
I mean,
band.
I like both versions of the group. I don't know who the hell Gary is. I really had no idea that there was another singer with the group. But yeah, when I was younger, I liked Sammy Hagar more, and the older I've gotten, the more I've liked David Lee Roth.
Mm.
But I like both. I don't know. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I think I think Sammy Hagar
Because he's so much better looking, eh?
could be the shorts or something, that leg hair.
Even the guinea pigs are whistling. I don't know if you can hear them.
I don't know, they both, brought their own energy to the band.
They're both very individual, yeah.
Yeah. As long as Eddie's there, I'm a fan of the band.
Me too. But he's rest in peace, Eddie. Miss you. Dude, I cried for hours.
Yeah.
I went to go work at my stupid food place job that I was working at. This was during COVID. And I get home from my 3-hour shift of serving friggin' sandwiches. And my dad was like, Eddie Van Halen's dead.
Oh,
And I was walking up the stairs and I was like, what just came out of your mouth? And he's like, Eddie Van Halen died today. And I was like, give me a minute. And I just started crying. I was like, a hero has fallen. I'm not okay.
That's for sure.
Because they were one of the first bands that I really fell in love with after U2.
Really? Was U2 your
Mhm.
first one?
Yeah,
Nice. How old were you?
13.
All right.
And then it was Def Leppard.
Nice.
I love them. And then I had this you remember Pandora when people used to use
Oh
Pandora?
yeah.
So I would use it because it was free. And I had like a Def Leppard station on there, and I heard Love Walks In. That was the first song that I heard by. I mean, I knew the other Van Halen songs, but it was the first Sammy Hagar one that I heard. And I was like 14, and I was like, so the music video that I showed you guys,
Nice.
yeah, I've been watching that for 10 years. So, but yeah, U2 was one of the first groups. And then I got super into all the dark stuff. Not dark, it was dark for me, like AC/DC, Black Sabbath. And then I got scared because I was like, if I listen to Black Sabbath, I'm going to become a part of the occult. And I don't want to become a part of the occult, so I'm not going to listen to them. Now I
That's
listen
how
to
you
them
get
all the
into the
time.
lizardry.
Yeah. Now I
Lizard
listen to them all the
wizardry.
time. I love Sabbath. And personally, this is a hot take. I like Sabbath more with what is his name? He looks like a goblin. What is
Wait,
his
pull him up.
name? I'm trying to. I just don't remember his name.
He could be a bonus lizard.
Oh, Kev, you are going to shit bricks. Because he definitely is one. Oh, dude. This is wild. Because he came in for the latter half of the group. Hold on. I don't know why some weird anime shit just came up. You guys are
You've been
killing
watching, girl.
nothing. I typed in his name, like his stage name. But here, I'll just here. And some weird anime thing came up. As the images, I was like, you guys have ruined everything, you anime lovers. Here, look at this guy. For
Oh,
sure.
100%.
For sure. He's like 4'10". He's a tiny little dude.
Oh
This was him when
my
he was younger. He wasn't that bad looking. But then look at this. How do you turn into that?
dude.
He's he looks like the witch from Tangled.
Yeah, he's a dark wizard. He's a dark
Yeah.
lizard.
He's something
Oh,
else.
this is
Dio.
Ronnie.
Ronnie
Ronnie
James
James.
Dio.
Oh, he just straight up admitted that he was like serving the devil.
Yeah, he did.
I
He's
mean,
something else.
he didn't keep it secret exactly. His whole like theme was very like devilly.
Yeah. Well, and their music has a very different vibe with him
Yeah.
singing than Ozzy. But I personally oh yeah, look at this one. What is he sitting on?
That's a lizard throne.
Dude, maybe he's the Lizard King. I don't know.
Oh, somebody had to after wait,
This was
Jim
after.
Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just old
Yeah.
and didn't age well, but he looks like a goblin. Look at
Wow.
this. How?
Wow.
Crazy. I just don't know how he got so ugly. He wasn't bad looking.
I think when you sell your soul, you gotta give something up. He gave
Apparently,
up
you
his
grow a
hairline.
forehead.
Wait, move your mouse.
Look!
Yeah, and then go one to the right.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. That looks like a cheap costume that your mom would buy you when you were like, I want to be a wizard for Halloween. And she's like, here, take
Yeah.
this. Yeah. But he's got incredible vocals, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you could hit them high notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Ozzy's, which one?
Pants go up.
The
Up.
leather?
No, the
Oh,
white ones.
that's so, is that Ronnie James? Oh, it is. Crazy.
That's like in high school or something, huh?
That's very old.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at this.
No.
Ronald Padanova
Wow.
from high school. Picture or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Super crazy.
What a guy.
Yeah. But yeah,
Imagine,
that's
imagine if he had joined Van Halen.
they're like, dude, they would tower over him. They're like, make sure you don't step on the singer. He's 4'8" and runs around like a little insect.
That's you basically just described me.
4'8".
Runs around like an insect.
You know how cockroaches run?
Yeah.
One almost ran right over my feet yesterday when I was letting the dogs out. I was like, I ran. I was so scared.
Dang.
I hate them. Well,
Well, folks, on that note,
thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.
peace, babies.
Love ya. Bye.